and it's a waste collection yard on Cold Spring Avenue in northwest Baltimore, and it's in between two electric transfer grid stations. That was a big concern, right next to light rail and right next to the JFX.
And those tracks on the light rail still a concern with it being so close. We know it was first reported this fire around 5 o'clock last night. Fire Chief James Wallace says his crews have been dealing with challenges putting those flames out.
The challenges are that it's a wind-driven fire. It's a very deep-seated fire. We're very limited in access, so our tactics have to somewhat change.
We continue the live team coverage for you this morning here. We have Justin Chambers obviously talking about the wind that created worst parts and the dryness. But right now you see Shannon Lilly is joining us. She's got an update here from the scene. Shannon.
Yeah, talk about challenges, Tom. First, they were dealing with the wind, but there's things that come up. And just behind us here, you can see this hose is just leaking out, spraying water everywhere. So they're having to get that under control right now. We quickly had to kind of move as this sprays water out. So certainly a dynamic situation, an effort, a massive effort to get this fire under control. Then just over to our right here, just past the media that you see lined up here, is where that fire is still burning behind the trees. Now, I did have a chance to take a look at some of that video that we saw last night from this same location, and you can see just how much that fire has been contained to a certain extent compared to what we were seeing last night. But Fire Chief Wallace says the fire is still not under control, although they have made some significant progress. Right now, we are right on Cold Spring Lane. We're on the bridge overlooking 83. And then again, just off this off-ramp is that active fire. Now, we are told that it is the wind overnight that's really been fanning these flames and making putting out this fire a difficult task. But agencies from around the state are joining the effort in the more than 100 firefighters to put this out. In his last media update, Baltimore Fire Chief Wallace says they have gained the upper hand, but still have a lot of work to do. And so their biggest priority here, though, is protecting the surrounding area and containing the fire. But as you can imagine, this is going to have widespread impacts today across the city and the region and on drivers and light rail riders. Here's Mayor Scott with what you can expect.
83 is closed in the city, period, blank, full stop. We know they should expect Cold Spring Lane to be closed for the foreseeable future. The light rail is shut down obviously between North Avenue and Cold Spring, and also Poly and Western high schools will be closed tomorrow, and commuters should anticipate heavy traffic as the fire department continues to deal with the fire, and we will make sure that we keep everybody updated. But right now, we just have to allow them to do their work and let them plan and strategize and execute as they have been thus far. Thank you.
And again, this fire started yesterday evening just after 5, according to the city. It started at a wood waste collection yard in Woodbury and then was really fanned by the wind and the flames just expanding from there. But the good news that we are learning this morning as this effort just continues, you can see that water still spraying out. The good news, though, is that we are hearing that there are no reported injuries and that there's no need to evacuate at this point, or at least that's what the fire chief believes, that there will be no need to evacuate any areas. Of course, we'll keep you posted as the situation continues to unfold. Reporting live, I'm Shannon Lilly, Fox 45 Morning News.
Thank you, Shannon. Now, the site of the fire, Camp Small, you see that right in the middle of your screen. Those are piles, just stacks of logs and a whole lot of wood in that area. And it's right across the highway from Baltimore, both Baltimore Polytechnic Institute and Western High School. Both schools are closed today as this situation develops. But looking at this map, you can see the tennis courts right there with Polytechnic on the right-hand side of your screen, then 83 and then the light rail. But either side, the top and the bottom of that wood pile that is actually still on fire, those are the two electric transfer grid parks. That's what one person told me this morning. Wasn't exactly sure of the technical terms, and that's what they were mainly concerned about, the fire spreading because of the winds last night to either one of them or taking down some of those lines that are around that area. Now, we heard from Fire Chief, though, who told us last night, we heard about this, it's the wind that they were trying to keep in mind and responders as they were working to control the fire.
Yeah, we want to bring in meteorologist Justin Chambers into this conversation. Certainly that wind, a big topic of our story today. Is that continuing now, Justin?
Well, the good news is today, guys, is the wind will be less than yesterday. Remember, we had the wind advisory. We were talking about 40 and 50 mile an hour wind gusts, and you get any kind of little spark on a fire, and that's going to start that thing and continue to help that really grow. That's what we saw yesterday afternoon and into the evening time. These are the current wind speeds right now, about the calmest conditions we've seen. Single digits, maybe about 10 to 12 miles an hour right around Baltimore City. It's a strong westerly and northwesterly wind. When you look at the wind gusts, we've seen some gusts just in the last 15 or 20 minutes at 21 to 29 miles an hour. So again, we still have the potential for some of those wind gusts, a little stronger for the eastern shore right now than in Baltimore City where that fire is at this time. But either way, as we go later into the day, those wind numbers or the wind speeds will go down. And then you have to factor in the cold temperatures. So as you're getting out this morning, it feels like the teens and 20s right now. You got to make sure to layer up.